Welcome back to Wilson Studio 701. From his prison escapes to his Twitter wars, discover some of the wildest facts about Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, one of the most feared cartel leaders of his time.
If you were to lay out the facts of El Chapo Guzman's life, you'd think they were ripped from the pages of a Hollywood movie script: assassination attempts, worldwide domination of the illegal drug trade, prison escapes, and encounters with movie stars deep in the jungle. It would all be extremely hard to believe if there wasn't hard evidence to back it up. But the fact is that El Chapo Guzman's life has been far from ordinary, even by drug lord standards. Nicknamed El Chapo, Shorty in Spanish, for his 5'6" frame, Guzman Lara began his journey to the top of the drug world in his early teens as a successful marijuana dealer in the 1970s. He eventually moved up to cocaine dealing in western Mexico under the guidance of drug kingpin Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo. It was after Gallardo's capture in the 1980s that Guzman truly stepped up to the big leagues of international drug trafficking and expanded the notorious Sinaloa cartel. Before long, Guzman was making a name for himself as one of the country's most powerful drug traffickers and putting himself on the radar of both Mexican and U.S. law enforcement agencies in the process. Soon, Guzman would spend 8 years in prison during the 1990s before escaping in 2001. But even when he was behind bars, his cartel continued to grow in power. In the decade following his escape, he rose to the level of infamy of historic kingpins like Pablo Escobar. And at one point, he was responsible for trafficking nearly a quarter of the world's illegal drugs. But he fell from that perch after being captured by police in 2014. Though he managed to escape again, he was soon recaptured in 2016. From that point onward, he has remained in custody in the United States. However, even though El Chapo Guzman has now been caught, his shocking and disturbing legacy will probably never fade away. Here are some strange facts you probably didn't know about El Chapo. Number 1. Because Joaquin Guzman grew up poor in a rural area, he began selling marijuana in elementary school. By age 15, he was his family's primary breadwinner. Number 2. He was first recognized on Forbes' list of billionaires in 2009. At the time, his cartel was responsible for supplying nearly half of all America's drugs. Number 3. Because the Sinaloa cartel transported more than 4,000 pounds of cocaine into Chicago each month, Guzman was the first criminal to be named public enemy number 1 in the city since Al Capone. Number 4. His most recent wife was American-born beauty queen Emma Coronel. They first met during her 17th birthday party because her father was one of Guzman's cartel officers. Number 5. He ordered his wife to travel to the US to give birth so that he would have anchor babies and a new secure foothold in the country. Number 6. Authorities tried to stop his wife from entering the US to give birth but had no formal charges that they could file. So, she succeeded in giving birth inside the US but left the father's name blank on the birth certificate. Number 7. Guzman's drug empire eventually grew to a massive size with operations linking 5 continents. Number 8. Guzman had a lover in prison who was a former police officer. Zulema Hernandez was in prison for aiding drug traffickers and developed a romance with Guzman. She was later murdered after her release from prison. Number 9. El Chapo's first prison break involved up to 78 accomplices and bribes totaling around $2.5 million. Number 10. His second prison break involved using a motorcycle to journey through an escape tunnel. Number 11. Joaquin Guzman has been known to get into flame wars via Twitter, including one with Donald Trump. In 2015, Guzman told him, "I'm going to make you eat your words." Number 12. An attempt was made on El Chapo's life in 1993 when assassins fired rounds into a car they believed to be his at a Guadalajara airport. 7 people were killed, but El Chapo wasn't even in the car. Number 13. El Chapo built a large home for his mother, Consuelo Lara, with his earnings. And she has also been seen greeting the current president of Mexico. Number 14. He's become a pretty popular topic for songwriters. But instead of being condemned, his life has been romanticized in narcocorrido ballads, a kind of folk music from northern Mexico. And last's been called the Osama bin Laden of drug trafficking because of his ruthless methods and elusive ability to hide from law enforcement.
Tune in next time. Wilson Studios signing out.